Hello everyone. I'm glad to be back, because now I can talk about my very surreal experience last month. So I kind of disappeared from all social media because something weird happened to me. It's even weirder than, it's a worse experience than getting COVID. My friend asked me, which is worse. I think COVID would be much easier, but what I experienced was something more difficult, and never in my dreams did I imagine that it would happen to me. So anyway, it all started on August 5. August 5, I was so happy because I reached my 1,000 subscribers in YouTube. Yay! After working so hard. So I was so happy that day, and I did my errands, and around noontime I was supposed to, my friend, my BFF Anna was supposed to pick me up, and she was there. That's also the time that the police came. They had a search warrant. They had a warrant of arrest for me. So I was jailed. August 5. It was I was a bit shell-shocked, because I didn't know. I did know about the warrant of arrest, but I didn't know that it was really going to happen. So anyway, what happened was I was brought to this substation, one of the biggest substations here in Quezon City, and they did not cuff me because my charges were trivial. It was like I had business permits problems with City Hall. But anyway, it's not my beef is not with City Hall. I have a neighbor who has been accusing me. So anyway, I won't discuss that part of the case anymore. But don't worry, I haven't become a career criminal. The charges are very trivial. So anyway, but what I feel bad is that anybody can just accuse you, and then when they accuse you, you can go to jail. And unfortunately, it happened to me. So that's the part of our justice system that which I do not like. Kasi I could not even defend myself. I had to go to jail before I could defend myself, and I think there's something wrong with that. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about my jail experience, because I've never been to jail. I've all my life I've been a law-abiding citizen. I try to be as law-abiding as I can. So I never imagined August 5 at 2 p.m. I was brought inside the cell with 150 other common criminals. So just imagine me, never committed a crime all my life, never even bumped another even traffic violations rarely happens, and then I'm suddenly lumped with drug syndicates and rapists, and there was even one murderer. But there were also other guys who had less charges. So anyway, before I was brought in, they never handcuffed me. I had to go to this hospital, and I had to pay this hospital stuff because they had to check lang na I was medically okay. So anyway, after that, I was so naive. I thought I would just be waiting outside because my charge was so trivial. But as I said, at 2 p.m. they brought me inside the jail. So I have to describe to you how the jail looks like. There's in the entrance there's a long corridor. Then at the back of it there are two rooms. There's a bigger room, and then there's a smaller room. So when I entered actually it's not a jail. It's a men's custodial facility. So I think they bring all the guys they catch, who has warrant of arrests, into that custodial facility. And I heard that sometimes if you stay too long, they bring you to the real jails, in Bikutan and whatever. But in my case, I was just in that custodial facility, but still it's a jail, So anyway, this it was a bit scary because when I got in, there were like vultures around me, So this guy came to me. His name is Rap Rap. He brought me inside the second room, and each guy stripped me off my clothes. They opened my pockets, got all the money there, and then they got my cell phone. So I was bringing my really nice cell phone, so they got that. They got the money left. I think I had like $300 in my pocket, and I was stripped naked, down to my boxers. So I don't even remember where my clothes went. But anyway, and all the other guys were also wearing boxers or briefs because it was very, very hot inside. So the first thing they did was interview me. The first question is, ba't ka nasa loob? So I said the reason, and they were like, nakukulong ko pala dun? Nakukulong ko pala sa ganyang thing lang. And I said, apparently, because I'm here. So, and then they checked my body for tattoos, because apparently the ones inside the first room were members of this gang. So I have no tattoos. And they politely asked me to take a bath, because everyone who goes to the hospital has to take a bath. So I did take a bath, and I took a bath with this rap guy. He's like, I learned later on that he's like the jail clown. He's like a borderline mentally crazy person. And so I had to take a very quick shower. So the shower anyway, I'll describe it later, how we shower, but it has given me anxiety attacks up to now. So anyway, after I did my shower, they put me in the aquarium, and the aquarium is this really tiny place. I think it's like 5 steps. My foot is like 5 by 2. So they wanted to cram 10 people there. So when I went in, there were like 6 people crouched inside that like aquarium. So it's all made of tiles up to here in my waist, and these poor 6 guys were like huddled there. And there was this guy on the side. He was like, he said, "This is my place." And there was a guy guarding the entrance of the aquarium. So I went in, 200 fat pounds, 150 fat pounds, sweating profusely because it was really hot. And I was standing there for, I think, 4 to 5 o'clock. So I was just sweating and sweating. Thankfully, an electric fan arrived. I don't know how, but somebody sent an electric fan, and it was placed near me. So I felt a little better, from the electric fan. Also, I realized in jail, if you make life hard for the police, in other words, pinatakbo mo sila, basta you made catching you difficult for them, they'd get back at you, by having these guys punch you. So it happened during my aquarium stay. So the poor guy was here, and he was being pummeled, by the we call him the mayor. He's the top head, and I could feel the the swiftness of the punches. Could feel the air, and I was like, I was so scared. I was like, oh my god, first few hours, and now I see someone getting, and I learned later on that this guy made, he ran down or something like that. So don't make life hard for the police when they catch you. So there, by 5 p.m. okay, I'll give you the structure of the jail. There's a mayor. He's like the head. He answers to the head of the police station. So his job is to maintain order, to keep everyone quiet, and they have to be quiet, and to keep everyone toe the line, and of course observe all the prohibitions, no money is allowed inside. no cigarettes, no drugs. So the main job of the mayor is to make sure all the prisoners follow the rules, no? And then after him, they were below him. There are they call them bartonero. Eh. These are like henchmen. They do the okay. So there is violence in the inside, no? Okay, I have to tell you something also. The outside world, the laws in the outside world, do not apply to the laws inside the jail. Once you enter the jail, there's a totally different law that you have to follow. It's very different from what you follow outside. So that's one thing you have to be very keen about. So anyway, by 5 p.m., thankfully, naawa siguro si Mayor sa akin. He let me out, no? In the corridor. So in the corridor, apparently where the older people were. So I aligned myself with the older people, and I met this friend, my very first friend there, Cesar was his name. He was also senior citizen, and his job was to clean, clean the place, no. So if there was somebody eating, he had to clean it up, especially the entrance part. That was his job. So he became my first friend, and he told me that kasi my mother visited me. He said, tell your mom that you should not be assigned inside at any point, no. You have to stay outside, no? In the outside corridor. So I told Mama, please tell the guard that I should never be placed inside under any circumstances because I have high blood, you know? I'm taking high blood medicine. So if you put me inside, most likely my hypertension will get worse, no? And the guys are so nice. He said, do you know how many people have died inside? 8, and they're like you. They're all fat. So what a relief. No, thank you very much for reminding me. So anyway, I told Mom, please tell the guard never to let me be put inside. No, I should stay outside at all times. So I think it happened. No, I never was placed inside. I always stayed in the outside part. Okay, so how was my first night? Actually, I was one of the lucky ones, no? Out of the 158 people, only around 30 get food every day. And maybe only around 10-20 receive food during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I was very lucky because our family had staff, no? Someone to drive, someone to buy the food. So every 6 a.m. I already had my breakfast would be sent, lunch at 12, and dinner at around 5:30 p.m. So the preso, the kakosas got to know that Fabi's food always arrives at those times, no? So why am I mentioning this? Food is a currency inside it's like the money currency inside the jail, no? So if you wanted to pay someone, you can use food. So the problem is, when my food is given, I don't get first dibs at it. I mean, okay, you have to remember that this is jail. There's the mayor, the bartonero, and there are many smaller fiefdoms, no? I remember there are 3 other smaller goons. They have their own areas, and they hate my face, so I'm afraid of them. So what these heads do is to feed their people, no? Because they have to feed certain groups of people. So what they do, they pilfer from the food that is delivered, let's say to me, no? So once I get my food, the rice is already gotten by someone, no? This is how it is. You have to share your food. So usually what's left with me is only a little bit of my food plus something I can share with my other friends in the beginning. So let's say Mama brought 4 liters of Coke. All of them were taken. I only got 1. So what I did after that was just make sure I had my water with me, Every time they delivered water, they'd send two. So one will disappear, one will go to me. And then they were also very courteous enough to leave me my own food. So in a way, I was very lucky then, no? Because I had regular meals, no someone to send it. You have to remember that when this happened during the MECQ. So there were no Grab, there were no taxis, there were no public transportations. So the stories inside were so MMK, no? I remember there was a prisoner and he was talking to his mom. He said, "Ma, how did you get here?" The mama said, "Ay, huwag ka na mag-alala, anak. Problema ko na yun." This the poor prisoner said, "Ma, did you walk all the way from Caloocan to here?" Then the guy said, "Naku ma, huwag ka na maglakad, no? It's okay, even if you don't get food." And of course, mama, mother sacrificed so much. She didn't say that she walked, but it was implied, and most likely she did walk because it was MECQ. There was no public transportation in Manila, in Quezon City. So many of the poor prisoners who did not live within the Quezon City area most likely did not get food, no? So some of them came from Cavite, some of them came from Las Piñas or were caught in Las Piñas. So how could your family send you food unless your family has a car, you have help to deliver food? But if not, wala. So that's why we had to share food with each other. So that's basically the system, no? How was my first night there? You cannot sleep, no? We were 150 in the front. We were like 50 people, 50 people in the back, 50 people on the other back, and there was really no space. So I had to sleep like this on the side. I took some clothes of mine. I put them here as my pillow, and then since I was on my side, I could feel pain here in my hips, no? It hits a certain part of the hip. I think it was somewhere here on the side. So it was very painful because I had to sit on cement floor for almost 14 days. So it was really excruciating. The pain coming from the lying down on the side was terrible. So I had to do that with the rest of the other older prisoners. We were lucky because we were in a well-ventilated place, no? The problem is, since we had to sleep early, maybe around 8:30 p.m., everybody else was still very noisy. So what I did was just to block out everyone's noise, no? And not to think about them. But it wasn't easy, It wasn't easy, and up to now I still get anxiety attacks when I sleep, because there was no space there. So all of our legs would be like on top of each other. And what I hate pa is sometimes when I'm in the end of the row, the guys at my back put their legs here. So just imagine so many dirty legs. Some of them even had pigsa or wounds. So they were all over my shoulder area. I was very lucky because when I got out of jail, none of my skin was open. None. There's no cracks. I didn't get anything. No pigsa, nothing. So that alone, I'm really very thankful. Kasi although I did have bungang araw, I had bungang araw here. It was very painful, itchy, but well, it had to happen, no? Because the conditions in jail were not very ideal. So sleeping like that, and then we were supposed to be awake at 4 a.m. every day. So all the old people have to take a shower at 4 onwards. So that was my first, I think, second shower, and I had to make sure one of the older guys was with me, because um, the day before they asked if I were gay, no, or if I was straight. So I admitted to them that I was gay because I thought it would be easier to defend myself if I said so, no. Instead of pretending to be a different person, if I just stay true to who I am, it would be easier for me to defend myself. And ano naman, tinanggap naman ng mga ano. Although, well, anyway, let's go back to that that story about the boys, no, because they did have some unpleasant experiences with some of them. So anyway, so at 4 we had our shower, and since everybody knew I was gay, there were some guys who wanted to, play with me, and I didn't want to play with them. So, but during the first 4 days, I was able to ward them off, thank God, because I didn't want. I was too shell shocked, no? And then I had to do these boys. I'm like, the only nice thing there was the mayor. Regalo, nabigyan niya ako ng regalo. So he gave me this boy who was a masseur, no, outside. And actually I didn't have any libido at all inside. I was like dead physically. I mean, I was in no way horny, because how can you be horny when you're supposed to do it in front of 50 other people looking at you? So I'm not a porn star, so I cannot do it. I cannot perform in front of 50 other people who are looking, and it's also stressful, But anyway, I ended up getting tatlong alay. I was very careful what I did because I had no money to pay them, and they might charge me, sometimes it happens in jail. For example, if you smoke, they say, oh, it's 50 pesos per puff, and then it becomes 300 pesos, no? The pricing is arbitrary. So even with the boys, if some of the boys wanted to have fun, I'd ask first is this for, because I might pay for it, and I had no means of paying because I didn't know how to bring in money in jail. So I had to make sure that these guys did not need payment for their services, and surprisingly, since we were all men, I think may mga ilan sa kanilang nauuhaw, talagang. And it's so weird because every time I take a shower, I could feel someone touching my chest area. So there'd be hands everywhere. It was really annoying. So, and then the old guys are very insistent, no? So they go inside while I'm still having my shower, and then they, ask me to do things with their, and I would always like, I'm done showering, So I tried to find at that point I was trying to find a way to not talk to these people, I would just be away from them because I didn't want to be assaulted sexually as well, so that's why for me the mayor was very nice, because he referred me to guys who are anyway more professional already and know what they're doing, as compared to guys who was just there to harass me and do things to their. Because I realized Filipino men pala have bolitas. They put it inside their their thingy, and it looks weird, because they changed the physical structure of their organ too much, that when you look at the bolitas and like, are you serious? Is that even going to be hard? But anyway, I was able to ward off that guy. I just, you have to use your brain. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to be like maybe a handmaiden, just hold her hand, or just to escape the the shady things some of the members wanted me to do, you know? So I was saved that way. um, and those guys who tried to, you know, harass me in the shower room, I learned later on that it was not allowed, no? So that if somebody tries to touch me inappropriately, I have to make sumbong daw kaagad para, because they bugbog the guy who does that, eh. And I was I was very close to referring someone, but I did not, because anyway, he was just a young kid, you know? What's so weird about about going to jail? I always pray the rosary. That's one. So there will be lulls, no, where all of us will be trying to get some sleep. That's where I pray the Hail Mary, the rosary, because, and I'll just pray it calmly, you know, in my head, or else if they're, of course, I open my eyes now because I made this big mistake of not opening it. So the doctor said he had no picture of what's really happening. So ayun, yeah. So fast forward, life became routine na. I decided to join this Bartonero. In the jail kasi, we had to come from, I came from Ross, I live in Ross District. So when they learned that I was from Ross District, the guys from Ross District became kind of my friends, no? And then when they learned that I could speak Cebuano, I could speak Bisaya, everyone who was Bisaya became my friend as well. And it was very important because I didn't want other people to touch me, no, or box me or hurt me. So my being Bisaya and my being from Ross District helped me a lot. Also, let's go back to that cell phone thing. That also saved my life, no? It's a good thing they got it, and I think they sold it. I don't know how, but the important thing is that paid for my rent, no? That paid for my life in a way, because nobody touched me. Yes, I'd get the occasional hit. I was hit in the head by one of the leaders because I was so clumsy. I'm so clumsy because I cannot move very fast in a very restricted area because I'm fat. You know? Just imagine me trying to go from squat to sitting like real squat. It's so painful. I couldn't really do it. So I moved very slowly. That's why I was hit on the head. Are there bullies inside the gym? Yes, there are bullies. Okay, there's one particular guy, you know, I help him, I give him food, I give him coffee, but still every night he would hit me, no? He would hit me here on my leg, and then ito lang naman sa legs, no? I think his goal was not to show any injury. Kasi if he hit me here, medyo makikita na, di ba? So he would always hit me on the thigh area or here in the knees area. So one night, I was just so pissed off at him. Kasi nga, he said, ang likot-likot mo, Fabi, ang likot-likot mo. Hindi ka na lang mapirme in one place. I could not because I could not sleep, no? There were just so many feet. And I preferred sleeping, sitting down, no, like that. Because anyway, I told myself, how many transatlantic flights have you ridden, no? From Asia to Europe. So just sitting down there was much easier, no, than lying down. So it became an issue with this what do you call that, this bully. So he'd always, every time I sit down, he'd like kick me, and then every time I'd move, he'd kick me. So one time he kicked me several times on my right leg. I was like sleeping that way. He was hitting me here and then here, or like, you know. So I got so mad. So like, ano bang problema mo? So what I did, I hit him. So I was sleeping like this. He was standing there, and I used my legs to pummel him, no? Like, wow. I was so mad. I was so mad at him. Because of the way he was treating me, I'm giving him food, I'm giving him coffee, and if he punishes me when I move. So what I did, I kicked him several times. Um, Everyone who saw it was in awe. Yung parang, wow, nagagalit pala si Tony. Kaya pala magalit si Tony. So after that, nobody dared touch me anymore. And then they knew I would retaliate. No? If I reach the mental limit, I guess I realized I fight back, no? Kasi sobra na yung pag-ano niya. So I had to fight back. What else interesting happened to me? Not so much really. We just wait for our food, and then I was very lucky in a way because I didn't have to clean on anything. So all of my notes were done by Angel. Oh, who's Angel? So I'm feeling sleepy na yata. But anyway, so ayun. Medyo I got into a groove. I aligned myself with the Bisaya Bartonero, so I always had food. Hygiene is very iffy, so I have had people cough on my food. I cough, and then I have no time to wash my hands because the CR is over there. And then so what you do, you bring the, if you can have that alcohol thingy, you do that. But yun lang, daming humihingi. So before you know it, ubos na kagad yung alcohol, no? I mentioned about taking a bath because I was having anxiety attacks when I was taking a bath. Kasi doon in the prison, so there's a trono, and there's two guys standing. So the trono is where you do your thingy, the natural thing, and then you have to banlaw while doing that thingy, and you have to make sure that the toilet did not smell because you don't like the smell of what. So make sure you're flushing very fast. And then soap was also a problem because they kept on stealing my soap. So I was just lucky that every time I went to the bathroom, there was this nice guy who would lend me his soap. So I had soap for the past few days. If you're not lucky, then wala kang sabon, no? Then I also lost my toothbrush. So I think for 10 days, I was brushing my teeth like this. No, you see my hands, it's so crazy. Kasi nga, I lost my toothbrush. It was a very harrowing experience. No? I remember I was trying to banlaw myself, and suddenly I felt a hot water on my left thigh. I was like, because there you're allowed to piss. But ikaw umihi, so tatlong tao naliligo, you just piss. How do I piss? I piss on the side of the tiles, no? So while they're doing their thingy, I wee here, this side. But you won't have to hit